Welcome to lunchtime. I've come home. I actually never would have thought I'd say that, but I've come home to my diet, to what fits best to me and my problems. Actually, I tried almost everything, and everything was biased by the belief, do not kill sentient beings, all ahimsa, like really following that spiritual approach. I didn't eat meat for a long time. When I ate it, didn't really enjoy it. Now putting, just saying it that way, putting dead carcasses into a pan and brewing out the bones doesn't sound appealing to me. So I've struggled with the concept, but I've switched over into purely an observative state. How do I feel? And I did 3 weeks of broth, and I tell you, of juice, green juice, it was painful, it was hurtful, my inflammation markers went down, but not a lot. I lost weight, and it's kind of, I didn't feel that I could say I'm gonna keep doing that. It was nice, but not so nice. Now, doing this for the last 2 weeks, wow, this is my third batch of broth, and this is actually the bone broth, lamb broth. It tastes super cool. My taste buds have completely transformed and I'm feeling great. I really do. Like, my inflammation is gone. This is soft. This was always like hard, like really, not muscles, but hard blown up, hard, tough, inflamed. And now it's soft and my tummy is really great. And I feel with abundant energy. Now I've started also to eat fermented foods, this one is fermented carrots, ginger, then it's turmeric, and it has cabbage in it. And it tastes actually quite nice. I heat those on the stove. I take the glass out of the fridge. Sorry, I'm eating. I take this out of the fridge, put it in a little stove, heat it up in a pan and heat it up on the stove, and then I pour it back in, which means I don't have any dishes except one saucepan, and that's it. And then I drink that, and it tastes really nice. I actually found that if I put a little bit of fermented soy into it, it tastes nicer, so I'll do that. I'm not asking whether it's good or not. I enjoy it and I like it, and it feels good. So now this is actually a diet that fits to my inflammation problems. Now, I would like to sum up this inflammation problem with you in this video a little bit more clear. Now, think about, there is many reasons of inflammation, and I've noted them here, and you can see them here beside me. There is toxins. Now, toxins are mega causes for inflammation, and we all know there is neurotoxins, nerve toxins that actually influence our nervous system and cause stress and cause anxiety, cause neurons to crossfire, to false fire, and that causes ongoing stress, and that causes non-stop, like the galvanic process in your mouth when you have different metals in your mouth, and they crossfire and it causes a galvanic reaction. In the same way, if you have heavy metal poisoning or neurotoxins in your body, they crossfire and that causes irritation, stress, and through that, huge inflammation. Then we have endocrine disruptors, we have water-soluble and fat-soluble toxins, we have heavy metals, like I just said, and mutagens, which then convert your genetic profile and suppress certain genes, which also causes stress and causes your internal pharmacy, as I call it, to freak out. Let's say your cells need a certain process to replicate, to build always new cells, and they do that in a 24-hour or even faster modus. Now all of a sudden that's impaired by a mutagen, by a toxin, and they cannot convert the DNA or replicate the DNA properly, which means they cause non-stop faulty cells. That causes stress to your immune system, it causes stress to your self-healing mechanism, and it causes inflammation. So just toxins alone, if you have loads of toxins and you're loaded with toxins, then that can be the main reason why you are inflamed. And again, we can have inflammation in the brain, inflammation in our arteries, inflammation on the skin, that's psoriasis and skin eczema, and you see that externally. You can have internally on the skin, on your lungs, you have asthma and breathing and bronchial problems and coughing problems, and you feel bloody sick. Now that can all be caused by toxins. You can have gut inflammation, you can have joint inflammation. You know, inflammation galore, it can be everywhere, and where it's located, where it is actually a little bit of an indication what could be the main cause. Now, if you start eating like me, lots of sugar, and you get instantly pain in your joints and in your fingers, and when you stand up, it takes a while, you're cranky and stiff, well, then that's a big problem in regards to sugar and feeding bacteria, for example. And that brings us to the next, because we have parasites, pathogens, all of those things that we have in our body that causes, well, how do you say, poops. They fart. Now, a lot of people don't understand that, but just put some meat or some veggies, it doesn't matter, it doesn't need to be meat, it can be vegetarian, put that into a little jar and close the lid, or just don't wash that out and leave that in there. After a while, bacteria start to grow. That's the process of fermentation, and they use sugar to ferment a lot faster, and as soon as they do, what do you have when you open up the lid? Pop, a popping sound, and then a very astringent smell. And it's already here, quite intense. So everything that is laden with bacteria, everything that is to do with bacteria causes gas. Now we know that the teeth and gum and all the problems that we have in our cavitations cause thioethers. Now they are actually a kind of alcohol that is going and destroys the liver, it causes havoc to our immune system. Now, all our bacteria cause different types of gas. Now, just think about every bacteria that you have is farting, and that fart accumulates into a gas of all those bacteria, 2.5 kilos of bacteria. They fart, and those gases then influence your brain, your thinking, your emotions. You know, like that's why we say he's got a fart in his head. That's really true. There is some kind of an illusion up there. Anxiety, stress, you name it. That's all based on parasites, fungus, pathogens. You have mold, you have virus, you have worms, tapeworms. Why do you think they have kind of a heavy digestion? And their digestion and their excretion is very harmful for you. Now, all of those produce inflammation. And that's what you want to get rid of. Now we're working at the moment with a Rife device, and we're holding the glass tubes and we're trying to eradicate one particular strand that we found in the stool test to see whether it really works, and I'll send you the reports pretty soon. It's very phenomenal what we've achieved so far, especially with parasites and with Lyme disease, so it's something to look out for. Then we have deficiencies. I already spoke about deficiencies because they're pretty obvious. They are when every cell needs to divide and there is not enough magnesium, for example, to make the membrane soft and smooth, and not enough cholesterol or not enough protein, well then your cells, when they divide, they go into a state of lack, of deficiency, and that is causing stress and that is causing ongoing inflammation. We know that there are certain nutrients which are mega relevant. Without them, you cannot reduce inflammation. Well, so deficiencies need to be looked after. Stress and emotions need to be looked after, because we know stress is actually a firing of your nervous system all the time. It's non-stop under that tension, and you need to get things done and you need to be full on. Well, that's stress, and everything that is chronic, that is going all the time, that doesn't relax and stop and breathe and, enjoy life, but stays in that stress state, is actually the problem that then causes inflammation too. We know that your CRP, the C-reactive protein, the inflammation marker, actually when you have a stressful day, it rises dramatically. Every argument, every fight, every battle brings it up. So it's directly linked. So if you don't learn how to de-stress, you don't learn how to do your breathing exercises, use your TGI Pro classes or TH Pro classes, something to bring yourself back down to center, your inflammation stays up here. As long as you have inflammation in your body, your immune system will go after the inflammation. Full stop. As long as you have inflammation, undigested proteins, leaky gut, joint, bacteria, fungi, all of those things, as long as you have stress, you will have your immune system take care of that and not of the cancer. Is that what you want? No, we want our immune system to have a sole target to kill the cancer and to get rid of it. Well, if we occupy it with all other jobs, well, there is not enough soldiers for the task. And then we have DNA impairments. And I just, this is something that I have, and that's why I thought I'll share it with you. Interleukin 6, which is 10, interleukin 10. I had to look first. The interleukin 10 is actually a gene that creates an enzyme that helps you to stop and break down inflammation. Now, if that's impaired, like in my case, red and orange, there's 3 of them. So if you have that red or orange, you can't break down inflammation. So everybody goes and has a jog and goes exercising, and then all their muscles from all the training, from all the exercise are inflamed. And they have lactic acid buildup, and then it takes for them a day or 2 to break that down. For me, it takes 8 days. It's a nightmare. So I never could do endurance sports. I can do a sprint, but then I need a recovery time quite long. So it is already in my DNA that I'm not like one of those marathon runners. I just couldn't. I would kill myself. And that is something that I have to deal with. So I need to support that, and I need to support my healing mechanism and inflammation reduction mechanism with supplements. And that's what we can do when we look at the DNA. Now you see, it's not just eating the right thing. It's not just getting rid of the toxins. It's not just dealing with the parasites or the stress or the DNA impairment or the dental problems or the EMF, all the radio frequencies and mobile phone and everything around us. We need to bring it all into a kind of balance. Now, when you go to a doctor, they won't look at all of that. That's way too complicated. They just give you an inflammation suppressor. Cool. Now, the cause is still there, but you suppress the symptom. Very intelligent. Now that builds up, and then it finds another vent. It's like a pressure cooker. When you don't open up the vent, what does happen? It explodes. And that's what most of the time happens. So you don't want to do that. You want to reduce the causes. Now, for those of you who are interested, all our coaches are fully trained in determining all of those issues. Now, inflammation is only one of them. And as you can see, we go through the protocol a little while longer, but you will learn there is a whole lot more. And that's what you learn. Every single qualified coach that goes through our program will know about all the different tools to find out, will read the symptoms, what indicates which kind of problem, how to reduce it, what kind of alternatives, what kind of supplements. It's amazing.